I was watching what's been happening in the Facebook group for the Helix stuff for a little bit, and there's like this Podgo worship group, and some people are saying they're doing things with the Helix and making a big fuss about a certain thing. But I've looked into this a little bit, and so I just wanted to share with you for free what I would do to kind of get these worshipy vox tones. Now, as far as I can tell, the kind of thing that people are liking about this sort of stuff, and I think is something that works across the board for kind of guitar stuff, is this light and shade thing. So say for instance you've got a mid-scooped amp, when you pair that with like a mid-boosting thing, you get like a nice result, okay? Or, you know, when you take something like a mid-pushed amp and you insert a mid-boost into it, it kind of doesn't have the same gratifying effect. Now, what I think is happening to some extent with this kind of Vox thing that a load of people in the worship scene seem to really like is that you've got a Vox amplifier, and then the IRs that people are pairing with these things are super dark, as in, you know, compared to any normal IR, you have, you know, not much information above 10k at all, like a hard cut off, and you have more low end. That seems to me to be the core of what is going on with this tone. So I thought I'd quickly dial that in. I kind of put together this Helix preset, which is a mixture of things, but on the one hand we've got this kind of, this is the bass, kind of part of the preset, and then if you can turn on a range master, which is typically, I think that might have even been the first drive pedal invented, right, for the Vox, then you get this kind of thing. There's also like a gain boost for the amp if you want to press drive. And then, in case you were thinking, okay, that's all a bit too dark for me, I've got an extra snapshot which kind of turns up the brightness, and for this I'm just turning the treble up to 8. I haven't got any of the noise gate on this at the moment, but you get this kind of thing. It's just super voxy. So let me just show you quickly what's going on the actual Helix, so you can build this preset yourself if you wanted to. But it was something that I was finding, oh no. Here's what we have going on. If I go to snapshot 1, the basic elements, we've got a deranged master here. You see the settings, 7.7 drive, these are just default, bass 5.2, treble at 6.5. So I'm turning that on for the high gain tone where I don't want as much bass. So the deranged master, like a range master, presumably cuts out a bit of bass. Then the amp settings are just the Essex A30 with the drive on 5, bass at 5, cut at 1, treble at 5, and then for the brighter tone, I turn the treble up. If you see, that goes to 8, if you wanted to dial that in yourself. Or you could do this, where you set it up. So I've set the parameter drive to foot switch 4, minimum value 5, maximum value 7.5. And then you get this kind of thing going on. So that's all super simple, nothing complicated about that. It's kind of, the Helix does this stuff for you. That's kind of the point of a Helix. And then we got a dual cab. So we've got the 1x12 Bluebell, so a typical Vox speaker with the 4038 ribbon. So this gives you a load of bass response, more than any other mic in the Helix. 1 inch away, low cut off. High cut at 3 kHz, so super dark compared to being open. Early reflection at 35%. And this is what I'm saying about sending something bright into something dark. And then the Silver Bell, another Vox speaker with a 57 dynamic for a bit more of that top-endy stuff. Again, high cut at 3 kHz though, and early reflections at 30%. So keeping things very dark compared to traditional stuff. And then transistor tape, time at 1/4, wire flutter at 4.7, spread at 7.8, mix at 27%, so that's set to your click, or tap. And then I'm just going into the dynamic plate, 7 seconds decay, damping at 10.2 because I want a bit more of that top end sizzle to this, and a mix at 15%. So really, really straightforward stuff, and this should work on an HX Stomp as well. So there's kind of our bass tone. Loads of life to it, and then here's the And then if you wanted it to be brighter, say for instance you had humbuckers or something, press this bright switch. So yeah, let me know if you want me to drop that into the folder. I might equally put a little bit of the gate on just to neaten things up a bit so that we're not getting tons of string noise. Teach a man to fish and he will fish. Cheers.